We're okay. Hi, everybody. Just wait for a few people to jump on here. So if you are new, my name is Lindsay. This is Jessie. And every week we're answering a question that is submitted from you guys. And the question that we have for this week is all about when we're watching professionals ride. So somebody sent this question in and they said, how come when I'm watching Sarah Dawson ride, her fingers are open and yet you are always telling me to keep my fingers closed? And this is somebody that takes lessons with us, and we're always telling her to keep her fingers closed. So we thought that we would answer this one on here so that if any of you guys had that same question, we could address that. As you're jumping on, let us know that you're here, and if you have more questions about what your hands or your fingers should be doing on the reins, or what you're seeing from other professionals when they're riding, then you can go ahead and ask us those questions. Hi, Pat. I see Rose is on. Hi, guys. Okay, so do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, I think the first part of that question, for anybody who doesn't know, Sarah Dawson is one of the leading cow horse show people. She won the fraternity last year. She's one of the world's extremely talented lady from Texas. And when she shows in the snaffle bit, her fingers are open. She just holds her hand like that, and she's playing with those reins all the time. So that's what we're talking about and who we're talking about.
Okay. So the run that the question was about was actually that run from the fraternity. And if you get a chance to watch that one, maybe actually I'll post it in the description for this post when we're done here with the live, so you can watch it if you haven't watched it. But when you watch that one, you'll see that her fingers are open, especially right at the beginning, because she's adjusting her reins so often. She's boxing that cow, she's adjusting her reins, she's lengthening them and shortening them, and she's just constantly adjusting them. So it makes sense for her fingers to be open for that, as opposed to most of the time when we're here for lessons, especially for Sally, who asked this question, who is mainly working on her reining maneuvers, when she's here for lessons, it's more appropriate for her to have her hands closed on the reins as she's working on those things, for a few reasons. One, and the main reason why I teach everybody that I teach to keep their fingers closed, is because if your fingers are open and your horse trips or stumbles or feels like being a little bit of a jerk, they can pull the reins out of your hands really quickly. So we don't want that. Another reason is if your horse starts to stumble and you don't have a hold of your reins, they can actually fall right down. Whereas if you have a hold of your reins, you have a better shot of keeping them up. And then the other reason is because a lot of people with their hands, in trying to be soft with the bridle, will open their fingers and try to be soft with their fingers instead of learning how to be soft and elastic with their elbows. So all of the elasticity that comes from the rider to the horse's mouth should actually be coming through soft elbows and not through soft fingers or soft wrists or rolling the shoulders to the inside. That all needs to happen in the elbow. So that's one of the things that I try to really make sure that riders of all levels do, is keep their fingers closed, because that helps with the development of the soft elbows. So for any kind of beginner level rider, keeping the fingers closed just for safety so you don't lose a rein. And then anybody who is a little bit more maybe advanced than just a beginner, keeping your fingers closed on the reins so that you're always working at keeping that elbow soft, and so that you're always pulling instead of cheating. And by cheating, I mean like straightening up the hand and then pulling the rein back down here. We want to try to keep all of the pull happening with the bicep. That's where we're the strongest, and that's where we're the most solid. We want to create that solid feeling when we're pulling on the horse so that they have a solid place to find the release. So, do you want to add to that? Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I think one thing I always see too is people, when they're using their fingers, they're fidgeting with them. They're playing around, and it's just gray noises. It's not making any sense to the horse because there's not a direct cue. When you anytime you're looking at a professional or somebody who rides an awful lot, and you're thinking, well, they do it, why can't I? There always has to be how much time, like they know what those cues are. They know what they're doing. They're more clear with those cues. So there'll be some things where the professionals always don't have perfect equitation, but they're so effective with their body and how they do it that it works. And by the time you've gotten to that point, you know where them reins are so well. You can feel that horse's mouth in your hands, so it allows you to do that. I think that's the biggest thing is when people are starting out and really worrying about their faces and their horses is not to fidget, and by leaving your fingers open, you're more apt to do that.
Yeah, and I saw that on the post from earlier that I think it was Holly posted that she asked about, was it Eric Lamaze, I think? How come Eric Lamaze doesn't have to have his heels down like I do? And the coach responded with, when you've won a gold medal, then you can do whatever you want. But until then, you got to listen to what I say. I think, like at some point we have to say the leaders, the leading professionals have some leeway there for their own style and stuff. But I think in this one, it was pretty clear, this rider has really elastic elbows. She has, like Jessie said, she has a really good feel for the horse's mouth on the end of the reins. She has a need to have her fingers open because she's adjusting the reins so often. So that makes sense. Yeah, there is a risk that she could drop a rein or that her horse could start to trip and she might not have as good of a grip on there. But I feel like her reflexes and her just the sheer amount of time that she has spent in the saddle, kind of gives her some leeway to do that, right? As opposed to, somebody who's learning how to show in the reining and just learning how to show on the cow horse, basically. So if anybody has any questions about that, you're more than welcome to drop those here. I think our comments and stuff are working okay here. I can see people are jumping on to watch, so that's great. And we'll try to get back to you. And if you don't get to watch this live and you want to leave a question later, we'll try to make sure that we answer that a little bit later on. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I'm good.
No? All right. Okay, thanks for jumping on with us, you guys. And if you have questions that are not related to this question that you want to send in, you can do that in the comments. You can send us a Facebook message. You can send us an email. Any way that you can get a hold of us, you can send those questions in. We kind of have like a running list, and we just select one every Tuesday. So we will be back next Tuesday to answer another one. I don't see any comments in here, any questions. So hopefully that means that we answered that question pretty thoroughly, and we will chat to you guys later.